Now, International Quds Day is commemorated globally on the last Friday of the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. It's an occasion around the world for Palestinian solidarity organizations to express support for the Palestinian people and to call for an end to the occupation of Palestine by Israel. In Cape Town, a march is about to take place from District 6 to Parliament. Our reporter Vanessa Poonah is outside Muir Street Mosque, where Friday prayers have just ended as well, and marchers have gathered. Vanessa, thank you so much for the time there. Just detail the sentiment perhaps today must be that of one seeking solidarity and of course the continued call for Palestine and of course occupied by Israel there, and that sentiment and the issues to be resolved on that front.
Yes, indeed it is, and we know that this march has been taking place in countries such as Iran, where it actually started in 1969, and of course in South Africa for over 40 years this march has happened on the last Friday of the holy month of Ramadan, just after the Jummah prayers. And of course you rightfully said just now that the prayers have just ended, and outside the Muir Street Mosque here in District 6, where quite a number of people are expected to start gathering just a little bit away from where we are at the moment from Kaisergracht. Marchers are expected to make their way to Parliament. Now last year part of the request from government was, or to government was of course to downgrade the Israeli embassy, and joining me to speak about the demands and also the requests that the community have at this time from not just government but also from all stakeholders is of course Imam Ahmad Kasim. Imam, a very warm good afternoon to you. So we do understand that this Quds, International Quds Day, International Quds March is taking place across countries across the world really, specifically in the Middle East as well. Now a focus this year, what is the focus, what will be in the memorandum that you will be handing over at Parliament shortly?
Thank you very much. The memorandum itself will be read out in front of Parliament in a couple of minutes, but the essence of that would be to thank the South African government, number one, for having responded to some of the calls, downgrading our representation in what we call occupied Palestine, and also it's high time that the South African government now actually expels the Israeli ambassador. That would be very necessary, and all trade and military ties have to be cut. It's unbelievable that for every Friday there has been a demonstration in the Gaza Strip to reclaim the right of return to the occupied lands, and thus far the Zionist terrorist state has killed over 400 protesters and over 17,000 have been maimed and injured. Our call is to government, not only to government, but to the South African population, because we are the ones who best understand what it is to live under an oppressive system. We did so for over 350 years, and thanks heavens that we are now 25 years into our so-called democracy, which we have to qualify. The Palestinians also have the right to self-determination, and that right to self-determination, we argued as oppressed masses in this country, is based on three arguments. According to the principles of nationalism, the people, the indigenous people of that country have the right to determine their own governance, etc. Secondly, according to the laws of socialism and communism, if you like, the workers must govern. We are the majority in both cases. And thirdly, according to the laws of democracy, the majority must govern, irrespective of what they believe in. So the Palestinians have every right to make that demand. And if the Zionists argue that their land was given to them and the title deed is in the Bible, then what about all the oppressed masses all over the world?
There is some criticism specifically from the State of Israel saying that this march or this movement is anti-Semitic. Would you agree with that statement?
It's a very nice term. The Arabs are also Semites, so I don't know if we're also anti-Arab. But what I am, I'm not anti-Semitic, I am anti-stupidity. And I think the stupidity in the world has got to come to an end. That includes the stupidity of the President of the US of A, because he wants to invade Venezuela to have a change of government. He has threatened to do the same to Iran. They are already busy doing it in Yemen. And that is unforgivable for any foreign power to invade a country in order to change its government.
Thank you very much. Of course, Imam Ahmad Kasim there explaining to us really what this International Quds Day is all about, and specifically what the march is all about. And in the next few minutes or so, we do expect quite a number of marches. Many of them would have been those attending Friday prayers. Others will be joining, of course, at Kaisergracht Street, snaking through the streets of Cape Town, and of course then ending up in front of Parliament, where that memorandum will be handed over. And we've just heard Imam saying now that they are grateful to the South African government for the downgrade of the Israeli embassy, but also calling for sanctions, calling essentially for boycotts, calling for a trade boycott with Israel as Muslims across the world mark this last Friday of Ramadan.
Vanessa Poonah, appreciate your time there out in Cape Town, of course, covering that story.